inside. You know it's coming from some other consciousness, because that kind of information just isn't in there. It's not in you. So it becomes obvious after a while that that's the case. So we tend to break things into little pigeonholes and sort them out, but you can just think of it this way. You have the larger consciousness system, and you can interact with that system, and you are a part of that system. See, now that takes care of everything, right? That's you, that's everything else. It's just there, and you need to use it. So that kind of, meditation's a big thing. I spent a lot of time on this one question, but meditation and how do you get started, and how do you you deal with the larger reality? How do you get to experience it? And meditation is the route to get acquainted with the larger conscious system, because you let go of the physical. That's the key thing. As long as you're here operating in the physical, then you're kind of unable to become aware in a larger reality. So getting rid of that physical connection first, which is what meditation is all about. Another thing, I guess I mentioned, we're talking about getting rid of that physical connection. I have a lot of people, mostly young people, come to me and say, well, what about drugs? What about drugs? This meditation thing's a lot of trouble, takes a lot of time. I can take a drug and in 15 minutes, I can have this experience. And, a lot of native cultures use drugs in their religious things, and isn't this a viable way to go? And my answer to them is, it's not a good way to go. Period. Doesn't matter. And they say, oh yeah, that's for these drugs, but what about these other drugs? Aren't they good? No, it's not a good way to go. Now, it does sometimes help some people by giving them an eye-opener. Sometimes people will take a drug of some sort, and they will have a major experience of the larger reality. And after that, they have a drive to find out more, to grow up and whatever. And if it works that way with you, fine. Then it was a good catalyst to get you going. But if drug is the way you get there, if that's the only way that you connect to this larger reality, then that is not a good way to go. And the reason for that is you're not going under your own power. You're not able to. You need to be able to do this at will, like I say. Sitting on a school bus, you need to be able to still be in contact with the larger consciousness system. It's not like you have to take a drug to do it. You need to do it under your own power. And why? Because if it's not under your own power, then you don't. You're not going to learn much. What's important there is learning how to get inside your consciousness. It's learning this process of living in a larger reality.